Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
Listen to me. Killing a few hostages is not sufficient. The Americans must be made to suffer. We must humiliate them.
You do not go far enough, General Amin. We must strip their entrails out and drag them from here to Damascus until they include us in the peace process.
No! Nonsense! The solution is not bold enough for Libya. I say, wipe out Washington and New York.
What? And spoil 3 years of good public relations? I have the Americans believing I am a nice guy. In some of their polls, I am more popular than their president.
Gentlemen, this is getting us nowhere. If we do nothing else this week, we must conceive at least one terrorist act that will show all the world that the United States, the great Satan, is but a paper tiger, a weak nation, of weak people, a people ripe for destruction, cowards no longer willing to fight.
This is Obadiah 1 and 7 in the NLT. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it.
Første, så mener jeg, at man skal tage den amerikanske præsident alvorligt, når han siger, at han ønsker Grønland. Men jeg vil også gøre klart, at hvis USA vælger at angribe et andet NATO-land militært, så hører alting op. Altså inklusiv vores NATO og dermed den sikkerhed, som er blevet tilvejebragt siden afslutningen på 2. verdenskrig. Danmark har altid været en god allieret til USA. Det ønsker vi fortsat at være.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. But put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words shall be fulfilled.
China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or nuclear, without suffering devastating consequences.
Is the world moving ever closer to the brink of World War III? Global concern is rising once again after an ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin called for the possibility of a nuclear response against the United States and the United Kingdom.
You noticed how time feels like it's speeding up? Days blur into weeks, months vanish before we realize it, and the world seems to be spiraling faster than ever. Disasters multiplying, nations in turmoil.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.